Hey, what's going on, my friends? It's Dave Sharpe. Welcome to Wake Up Legendary. And you guessed it, my friends, we have yet another amazing guest this morning. From homemaker to moneymaker, how this mom turned 108,000 subscribers into affiliate marketing gold. Now, remember, my friends, each and every morning, these guests are, regular, ordinary people doing extraordinary things. The majority, if not all of them, are people who are, in most cases, brand new to the marketing world. They have, in many cases, never done anything like this before. Some of them have. Some of them, have done lots of things before, like, MLM and drop shipping or Amazoning or product flipping, or you get your occasional person like myself who did everything within, including the kitchen sink, selling lotions, potions, and pills, and everything in between, and finally found this business model, and it worked. And we talk about every morning why this works, why our curriculum works, and hopefully this is inspiration for you to realize that, you're not too old, you're not too young, you're not too far gone to start over and begin to build your dream life. Now is the time to learn these skills. If you don't learn them here, my friends, learn them somewhere, but for God's sakes, learn them. With that being said, let's welcome our guest today to the show. Rebecca, hello.
Hello. Hi, Dave. Thank you for having me today.
Oh, it's my pleasure. Thank you for being here with us and taking
Of course.
the action that you've taken to be able to come and share your story with us. So, where are you calling in from?
Orlando, Florida. So,
Woo,
Florida girl.
woo.
Woohoo.
We
Yeah.
have a Meridian in the house. I'm down here in St. Petersburg. We
Oh,
host,
you're close. You're a neighbor.
yeah, we host all of our masterminds in Orlando. The reason why we host them in Orlando is because I used to travel and do events years ago, and I got tired of doing that, and so I just now we just do our events in one place, and I make everybody come to me. Hey,
Yeah.
and, and it just works. It just works. It just works. So let's talk about you. So how did you find us? What were you looking for? Have you found what you were
Yeah.
looking for? Give us your story.
Yeah. So, I'm a stay-at-home mom, and I hear a lot of stay-at-home moms out there. This is actually how I found out about Legendary. I actually stumbled onto Caroline, the mompreneur,
Hmm.
and I started following her, and I was like, "Wow, I want to like how are you making this much money? Like how is this happening? How are regular stay-at-home moms making all of this money from home?" And at the time that I discovered Legendary, I was also, I had already built my YouTube channel to over 100,000 subscribers. I worked really hard to do that. It was in a completely different niche. But you know, what happened was is that I got not only burnt out by YouTube, but also just like what I was talking about, and relying just on AdSense is not the move that you want to make as a YouTuber. We can talk about that later, or as a content creator in general, is just relying on one income stream. And at the time too, my husband had quit his six-figure salary to pursue his own business. So we had to like batten down the hatches with the finances. I was even considering, I was like, maybe I should get a part-time job. I was starting to work with him as well. I was thinking about how can I make money from home? And this is when, or like make more money from home. Cause I was like, I want to stay at home. I don't want to go to work. I
Yeah.
want to utilize the skills I already have. Let me find out what Caroline is talking about. And I immediately signed on. I think I was like, I think I saw the video, saw her video, immediately said yes. I was like, $7, like sign me up. It didn't, that was the thing. I was like, $7. I gotta see what the $7 is about. And right from there, I was like doing the modules every single day. If I could complete modules like 2 in a day, I was doing that because I was so hungry to learn this information and learn a high income skill.
Yeah.
And and I'm not saying this to boast or to brag, but to give other people hope, because I actually started a new Instagram. So this one, Naptime Hustle Mama,
Hmm.
and I didn't even post on my YouTube channel because I was like, I don't want to, they're not following me for that. They're not following me for this content. So I wanted to post on my brand new social media, and that's where the majority of my commissions came from.
Yeah.
And on the other side, I was like, okay, now let me talk about this on YouTube. And
Yeah.
that's when all of the other affiliates and everything started happening to me. I was like, wow, like I'm utilizing these skills that I learned in the $7 course, and
Yeah.
I'm applying it to my life and in ways that I didn't even know about. Like un if you haven't taken the $7 course yet, if you haven't taken the 15-day challenge, when you learn about the business model, that that changed my whole perspective on everything. I was like, I have never thought about the business model in that specific way. I've
Mm.
always been taught the traditional business model route, and I was like, how is this helpful? I'm not making I even to be honest, Dave, I even was like, now he's full of crap, because like we're going to talk about business models, like this is so antiquated, people don't even talk about this anymore. But then when I saw the way that you described what a business model and how you broke it down, I was like, yeah, that's gold. If you didn't take anything else from that, from the 15-day challenge, if you just took day 5 learning about the business model, you have the tools to the
Yeah.
kingdom.
Yeah. Wow. Thank you. I mean, it's so true. We teach 4 business models here. We call them the core,
Yes.
and it's really the core 4 ways of selling information online, and it fits perfectly with what so many people are already doing for free, which is posting content on the internet. What you're
Exactly.
posting on the internet is you're posting information. That is what you're posting. You're either posting information or you're posting entertainment. And so we sort of combined the two and said, hey, why don't you focus on posting edutainment and then making that sort of the bait or the chum that you use to kind of chum up the waters, i.e., our fishing formula business plan. And then once you get people kind of, surrounding your boat because you're posting this edutainment, which so many people are already posting anyways. We're addicted and glued to social media all day anyways. Then you can begin to invite people and feed them into your sales funnels where you can give away more free value, but you can also sell them more of what they're already used to consuming, which is information, because they're
Mhm.
already sitting there watching videos. And how does this information come? It comes in the form of courses, coaching events, or being an affiliate marketer for somebody else's courses, i.e., more videos, right? What they're already doing, what they're already watching on YouTube. And you're
Mhm.
absolutely right. People just post endless videos on YouTube. In some cases, they build up lots of subscribers. And YouTube will pay you a small speckle of the sand of the advertising revenue from
Yes.
the billions or gajillions of dollars that they're making, but it's
Yeah.
nothing in comparison if you actually are selling a course, a coaching program, or an event on the back end.
Mhm.
And again, it's not like you're taking people from watching videos to buy my toothpaste. It's
Yeah.
it's not an unintegrated. It makes sense. You're saying you're already watching videos. You like
Mhm.
this information from this niche
Mhm.
or from this topic. Now, let me give you more clear, concise instruction or a value
Mhm.
inside of an organized course or coaching program to help you to get specific results on this topic that you've already shown that you're interested in. So works really well, and I'm glad that you found it. I'm glad that you
Mhm.
discovered it, and you are seeing how you can now begin to plug this into your YouTube channel. That you
Mhm.
did work hard to build up to 108,000 subscribers, but you were probably drastically getting underpaid for the
Yes.
effort. And of course you get burnt out when you're not making any money. If you were making $100,000 a month, would you feel burnt out?
No, no, no. And that's the
Well,
and, and that's the crazy part, you especially like the content that I was creating or that I'm still am creating and integrating affiliate links. You have no idea, Dave. I didn't even understand the concept of tagging things that or having affiliate links to things I already use. My mic, my camera, even just the basics, right? Just the basics of tagging those specific things. Now add a course. I'm developing my own course to sell within my own community because it sparked even just the business model module alone sparked something in me that was like, okay, I have a product. I have a course. I have something that I can deliver and take the hundreds of videos that I've already created that are 10-minute, 15-minute, 20-minute like pieces of content that I'm like, okay, how can I condense this all into a clear, concise course that I can sell, that I can monetize my audience? And it's crazy because like, starting it's weird because I have 100,000 subscribers, right? But on the other hand, my Instagram is at 300 and I'm doing more on my Instagram than I am on my YouTube channel.
but you
And
know that you can switch these topics here
oh,
on YouTube.
yes.
You can transition and
Yes.
begin
And
to,
this is where I started, right? You see, $15,000 from home. I
yeah,
interview moms, and that's what I wanted to do because I want to help moms make money from home. And if I can bring on certain people, and I even created, you don't want to go through that. This is where we're
all this is fine
rebranding.
though. Who cares? It's all content that's probably still getting views,
Yes,
and
yes,
it can create subscribers, and then they're going to come to your videos and they're going to look at what you're up to now, and it's all
yes,
good. All good. I
yes,
mean, this is just all content that you were creative enough to talk about before. Don't be ashamed about this. This is awesome. This is like TMZ. You know what I mean? I mean, this is great stuff. And you want to know what, Rebecca? This type of content that's sort of like clickbaity, sort of
yes.
almost like People Magazine-y.
Yeah,
People love this kind of
yeah.
content. I've got a buddy right now. I talked about him on last week's show. He just created a YouTube channel, and he's at 10,000 subscribers on this YouTube channel right now. And all he's doing is just taking TikTok videos that are about aliens and dumb stuff,
Yes.
and he's repurposing that and sitting there and
Yes,
reacting
yes.
to it in
That's
these TikTok videos. And sometimes the more mindless the content, like the dumber the content, the more Jerry Springer-ish or
yeah.
TMZ, right? Or People Magazine the content is, the more that we always are trying to think that we need to be so smart and we need to like put out all this highly like intelligent content, when what human beings have already showed us is that they would much rather watch Jerry Springer, rest in peace. They would much rather watch Dr. Phil with Catch Me Outside Girl.
Yes.
Would much rather watch, Sally Jesse Raphael, Phil Donahue, all these cats. And look, I'm sure there's the whole host of new TV host and with this kind of, what do you call it? It's almost garbage TV. It's like just kind of like
Mhm.
sit there and veg out and kind of numb out and just kind of like be entertained. So
Mhm.
I think there's a lesson there for you to take into this next
Mhm.
phase of your content creation. Don't all of a sudden get too smart for your pants. Remember that people like
Yes.
you didn't get 108,000 subscribers for no reason. You got it because you were putting out content that people like. And sometimes when we have a pivot or a transition in our career or in our thinking, we start trying to give the market what we want instead of what
Mhm.
they
They
want.
want. Mhm.
And we have to remember to give them what they want, right?
Mhm.
And then we can give them what they need or what we feel they need or whatever on the back end or down the road. But most people want edutainment with an emphasis on entertainment.
Entertainment, yeah.
That's right.
Yep.
That's right.
Yeah, and I definitely deliver on on the entertainment, but it actually it's funny because you say a lot of those, it looks clickbaity, which it is, but I actually deliver a lot of value. If you
Well,
actually click into it,
I believe you. And
it's like reaction videos I've seen
right.
are probably the number 1 video. Like, I would do talking head videos, but
Yeah.
these reaction videos are the ones that create the most traffic and the
Yeah.
most comments and stuff like that. So I
Yeah.
talk about a bunch of different topics, specifically in the relationship niche, which
Uh-huh.
is another huge niche that you speak about: health,
Yep.
wealth, relationships.
Mhm.
And so I'm in the phase now where I'm really focusing on what kind of content that I want to produce there on my YouTube channel. And
Yeah.
even just even just the 3 videos that I just put out recently, um, has actually garnered more emails and more partnership opportunities and things that, Dave, these things were not coming. You know what I mean? So
Right.
I'm telling you, it's because I decided enough is enough. Like, I need to make a change in my life, and I need to I don't want to be burnt out, right?
Mhm.
And like I tell people too, it's like, you don't have to have 108,000 subscribers. Trust me, because those people are not buying. Okay? Like, you can have I know people that have social media followings of the hundreds of thousands, millions. They can't sell anything. They don't know how to monetize their audience. As soon as you know how to monetize your audience, you have something there. I know people that are making thousands of dollars with 500 followers, 1,000 followers. And I was like, why would Dave want to talk to me? Like, I'm just a regular person, And and I'm gonna be transparent. I'm almost canceled. I was like, what am I supposed to offer in value here? And I
Mhm.
realized that's the trap that a lot of people
Totally.
feel. Is like, I'm not adequate enough to start. I am not adequate enough to make an Instagram or to provide any value, but you
Mhm.
do. Like, we all have something that we can learn from.
Yeah.
And I think that's the biggest thing. The biggest takeaway for me was like, I have something of value, and I know that I have something of value, and people clearly like to hear my voice and
Mhm.
see my videos and hear what I have to say. How do I then turn that into dollar signs, you
That's
know?
right. And
So
you make a great point that until you have to get through your limiting beliefs before you're really going to achieve anything, because that's a great lesson. Even you with 108,000 subscribers on your YouTube channel, and it is so obvious that people enjoy watching you. It is so obvious that people enjoy listening to you, receiving news from you, seeing your reactions, hanging out with you, right? This is yet another example of the liking gap. This is a
mhm,
phenomenon that happens in look it up on Wikipedia. Damn
mhm.
it, we're going to look it up right now together because I'm if you don't get this now, my friends, um I we need to get this. We need to understand this. Everybody has to get this right now. Liking gap. This is a phenomenon, my friends. The liking gap, okay, let me blow this up a little bit for you, is the disparity between how much a person believes that another person likes them and that person's actual opinion. Studies have found Studies have found that most people underestimate how much other people like them and enjoy their company. And we have got links out to these various studies. This is not, this is Wikipedia, for Christmas sakes. Go see it, because you have to believe it. I feel like I'm Deion Sanders, Coach Prime.
Yes, yes.
Believe yet? Do you believe? Right? And that boy will get you believing even when he's losing. Okay. This misunderstanding or gap has multiple factors that lead or contribute to it. First, people tend to be overly self-critical and ruminate more on what they have said. In
Mhm.
turn, people tend to not think much about what the other person said. People are also are often very self-absorbed and think that everyone is judging them. An
Mhm.
example of this is the spotlight effect, yet another phenomenon that you can read about. But it's going to tell you the spotlight effect is when people think everyone is looking and judging them more than they are. Another example is, watch this, the illusion of transparency, which
Mhm.
refers to people's tendency to think that everybody knows exactly what they are thinking, when in reality, they don't. My friends, class dismissed. What comes up for you as I read this stuff, Rebecca?
So many things, everything that I have experienced myself and just seeing it written down. I actually I was thinking about this and I was telling my husband, I was like, "You know what, babe? Opinions don't pay our bills. We pay our bills." And I think so many times we are so consumed by it, and we listen so much to our self-doubt, our fears, all of that stuff that all of these things, right? The spotlight effect, the illusion of transfer, everything, the liking gap, right? We don't It's funny that you actually put a name to how we feel, right? Because I feel all of these things and it doesn't matter. Even you bringing up my YouTube channel, it was like, oh, that's so weird. Like, I still, you know what I mean? You still can't fathom for yourself that other people enjoy what you put out. And I think that that's a lot of the times where we get stuck and where we also fail and fall short, because a lot of people say, "Oh, well, no one's liking my stuff." It's not about likes. It's not about that stuff. It's about eyeballs, right? It's about who's watching this stuff. And you don't even know. You might be inspiring someone else in your family or in your friend group, or a complete stranger that can listen to your story and resonate with what you have to say in your story, and they said, I'm going to make a change in my life because that person made a change in their life, and if they can do it, I damn well can do it too. And
Mhm.
that's when I saw a lot of these women. I was like, Chelsea, regular old mom, Becca, regular old mom, Caroline, regular old mom. And I was like, there's nothing inherently special about them. What is blocking me from allowing myself to step into this new version, into this new, like, this new journey of discovering how to make money online. Like, it's so crazy to me. So many people, actually, I was watching, I don't know if you know the creator, her name is Cody Sanchez, but she was talking about how at a conference, the question was said, everyone close your eyes, and raise your hand if you, or how you feel about money, or express yourself when I talk about money. And people were like curling up in a ball. People were like getting
Mhm.
underneath the tables and stuff, because people have such a fear of this idea of money, or this thing that people are like, I don't know if I can reach it. I don't know if it's me. Like, it could be for someone else, but definitely not me,
Right, right.
and that was something I'm like, I'm out here like arms stretched high, you know, I want it. I want this. And that was the thing that like sparked me into this whole journey. And that's why I'm here. You know what I mean? Like this is,
Yeah.
and I don't believe in accidents either. I was like, one day I'm gonna speak to Dave. We're gonna have a face to face, and here I am, just a few short months in, and I'm just so proud of myself for even getting here. And being consistent and showing up not only for myself but for my family. Sorry, now I'm getting emotional. But a lot of people will like get in this victimhood mentality. Like, we are victors of our situation. Take that story, take whatever you have inside of you. Other people want to hear it. I guarantee you. And it will spark something in someone else to make a change in their life, because I'm just a regular old person who decided to pick up a camera one day and said, I'm going to start making YouTube videos. Did I start off with 100,000 subscribers? Did I start off with 100,000 views? No, I started off with one view, and my mom say, "Hey, I watched your video. I gave you a like." And I'm like, "Thanks. You're the only person that liked it, or you're the only person that viewed it that day." But I kept showing up. I kept making videos. I kept
Yeah.
pushing in. You know why? Because I know that one day it takes one video. It takes one video. It takes
Mm.
one post. It takes one thing to just take off, and then you double down and you keep pressing in. And that's how people become successful YouTubers. Like that's the keys to the YouTube kingdom too. All you got
Yeah.
to do is just keep going, keep making videos, keep posting consistently.
Well, I
It's
want
like,
to look at something here because I like to go back and play what if, right? So let's look at your oldest videos here
oh
on.
my gosh.
Okay, look, 7 years ago you made your first video. Okay,
Yeah.
all right.
Yeah.
Then you didn't make a video for 2 years, 7 years
Yeah.
to 5 years. Okay.
Yeah.
Something happened there where
Yes.
you were like, hey, you had some sort of a limiting belief. Okay. You
Yes.
stopped. Then 5 years, you made one video that year. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, you got 4 years, you made one video that year. And then now you went to 2 years and you got a bunch
That's
of
that's when
kind of
all of it. Yep.
that's when
Mhm.
you started taking off. So I want you to think about this, and I want everybody to think about this. What if you would have just kept going right from day one?
Oh.
Think
Oh
about
my
that.
gosh. I already know because I actually have a ton of friends in this space, and one of them reached out to me, and he has over 500,000 subscribers, and he was like, "Imagine if you would have kept going." He said that
Yeah.
to me, and I was like, "Wow, I know I would have probably been right where you are or at a million subscribers by that point."
Yeah,
And and
for sure.
what's crazy to me, and if you want to know what really sparked that first initial change for me, was my dad had just passed away in 2021 in
Mm,
January. And I had taken a Think Media training. And I don't know if anyone knows what Think Media is, but it's a great, um, you know, they're great YouTube channel. And I said, I'm gonna go all in. This was January. My dad passed away January 2021.
mm,
I then spent 6 months just dealing with the family stuff.
yeah,
I was the administrator of his estate,
mm,
just the headaches. We
yeah,
got pregnant. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna start taking YouTube seriously again. I'm gonna start making videos. I'm gonna start posting 3 times a week. Just randomly, I was like, you know what? I've been talking about going all in on YouTube. I'm gonna start making 2, 3 videos a week. My husband was like, "Sure you want to do that? Like that's a lot of work." I was like, "Yes, I'm not doing anything anyway. I'm just sitting here like in my own misery, in my own, pain of losing my dad."
mm,
And I was just like, "I'm gonna do it. I'm already at home, you know, I'm just gonna start." And not even, Dave, I tell you, it was, I think I had posted probably 2 months worth of content before that first video took off. That was something that I posted on my fifth, or like my second week, because that's how the algorithm worked. And I
Yeah.
was like, wow, I posted this video like a month ago and now it's getting all of these views. Now all my new videos are getting 6,000 views on the first thing. What is going on? And I looked at my husband. I was like, this is insane. Like, and he's like, well, you gotta still keep making videos. And that's the thing. It's like when sometimes I think too, when people see something good, they're like, okay, I did it, so now I can stop.
Yeah.
No, you keep going. You keep going. You keep pressing in. And that's why when it comes to content, I tell people it's not about necessarily posting 5 times a day or, even 1 time a day. It's about being consistent and showing up and, putting out a message that you resonate with. And, you know, that's how you get 100,000 subscribers. That's
Yeah.
how you keep growing,
You don't
and
quit. I mean, you
you
don't,
don't quit.
the interesting thing is that if you would have had the knowledge that you now have from kind of, stumbling upon Legendary and learning what you've learned and what you're excited about now, and I'm so excited for you. If you would have known that and not quit, you would be
Oh,
a
yeah.
multimillionaire. You understand
Oh,
that?
100%.
You would be a multimillionaire many, 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 many times over because
Mhm.
you would be combining the passion and excitement that you already had for YouTube with, driving traffic, building an email list, selling courses, coaching, being an affiliate. But I just think about like what it would have been like again if you would have not stopped even 5 years ago, even if we don't go back
Mhm.
7 years from when you made your first video, but 5 years ago, right? Even 2 years ago, like 3 years ago, if you would have known what you know now and combined that, you would be a millionaire many times over. So if what's the lesson from that? What's the takeaway from that? Well, if you go back, listen to the beginning of this episode, you talked to us about your limiting beliefs. You talked to us about, you were even a little bit still downplaying your YouTube success, but you were so vulnerable and honest about, how you thought when you got invited onto the show and just everything. If you combine everything that we've talked about, there's a massive golden platinum nugget here that we can all take away from this, which is you are going to be your own worst critic, but
Mhm.
we all are. And there's scientific studies, data, and actual phenomenons that explain why that is. So nobody has to sit around wondering why. Like we don't sit around and ask ourselves, or like stay up at night going, God, I wonder how an engine works. I mean, to me, an engine it's a unbelievable thing. I can't understand. I mean, I'm not a mechanic. I mean, but engineering a bridge, for example, how do we we don't stay up at night. It's just
Mhm.
engineering. It's the phenomenon of engineering and all the different math and science and everything that it takes. We don't sit up at night saying, God, space is infinite. God, what, it just is. We just accept it because there's studies and people that we figured it out, and it's something that just is, and it just is. We just use it. It's a wonderful invention, motors, engineering, bridges, space. It exists. It's a crazy thing, but we don't sit around and think about space all day long. What I'm saying is my point of saying that is that we don't have to sit around and beat ourselves up and go on some emotional roller coaster about why we all have imposter syndrome. We all have it.
Yeah.
It's right there. It's the liking gap. Look it up
Mhm.
on Wikipedia. It'll also give you a couple of other phenomenons, such as the spotlight effect, the illusion of transparency, a couple of other things that you can begin to understand how we as human beings work a little bit more. You don't have to be a dadgum PhD in psychology. Just read a freaking Wikipedia page, for God's sakes, and get a basic understanding. And you will begin. My hope is that you will sit inside your body every day just the same way that you sit inside your car every day. When you sit inside your car, again, it's a wonderful, crazy invention, but you don't sit there before you turn the key over and go, I
I wonder how that
wonder how that engine works. I can't get over it. I can't get out of my driveway because no, it's just is. It's a thing. You want to read more about it, you can learn about it, but at the end of the day, it's a combustion engine that was invented by so and so. You turn a key, it's got oil, blah blah. You put gas in it. It's the same thing with our psychology. There's different elements of who we are. They're explained pretty clearly and simply, at least the things that we struggle with, just in the first 10 minutes of the show today. So if you combine, now all of a sudden you're sitting in your car every day, and we just can turn the key over. We don't need to go into all the beating ourselves up or trying to figure ourselves out or go on some big long, I don't need to go in total darkness or sit in meditation or become a Buddha or go take ayahuasca or you know what I mean? I don't have to try to figure myself out and go on this big, huge spiritual journey because look, I've got my engine that runs me has its own deficiencies. It's got its limitations. Similar to a combustion engine in a car. You can't go 500 miles an hour. Eventually, it's going to run out of gas. Your mind also, we have certain, whether they be deficiencies or limitations or character defects or whatever. Now, once we understand them, we can just move forward. And here's the thing that I need to make sure that I don't do. Quit. Just don't quit. That's the whole point.
Yes.
Don't quit.
Just don't. And it's taking those micro, it's like almost like, hopefully we don't forget to brush our teeth. Hopefully we don't forget to brush our hair. But it's those little things that you don't even think about. You're like, I just brush my teeth. I just eat because these are things that you do. Right? So why can't we take that and just apply it to
getting rich?
Yeah, getting rich. Being like, it's just an email. It's just a video. And I think sometimes we put so much emphasis like, oh, well, if I post this video, what do you think the comments will look like?
If I post it, what's my dad gonna think? What's my broke loser best friend who, I love him, but he's broke. And I'm going to ask his opinion about my next business venture.
Exactly. Exactly.
It's like, just tune all that shit out because your brain's going to do that no matter what.
Yeah, 100%.
And my brain still does that too. But because I have the basic understanding that I have the deficiency of the liking gap, I have the deficiency of the illusion of spotlight, I have imposter syndrome that comes from these things. And guess what I've learned through pushing through it and not quitting, what you realize is that, gee whiz, nobody really actually does give a shit because they're all self-absorbed with their own BS, the same way that if I allow myself to get self-absorbed with my BS, I'll take no action.
Exactly. You nailed it. Exactly. No one cares. No one cares. No one cares. And that's the thing is like that right there is what changed a lot for me because I was like, well, how am I gonna, how am I gonna change my YouTube channel? How am I gonna no, just do it. Just freaking do it. Like stop, like that mentality of just make the video, post the video. Post if it's not perfect, post the video. We like, especially I'm speaking to myself as women, as a woman, I get caught up in that perfectionist mindset. Oh, it's not edited beautifully. Oh, like what if the title is wrong? Oh, no, post the video, send the email out. You don't know until you do it, right? You don't know what that's going to be. And then once you get over that threshold, once you get over that fear threshold too, you're like, oh, that wasn't that bad. Oh, I could totally do this. Oh, another email? Right. Easy. Like super easy.
Think about it like this. Like, I feel so freaking blessed that I was born in 1983 and not not 556 BC, where
Yeah.
I was out, running
Yes.
from saber-toothed tigers and had some grizzly bear coming up to my cave, eating me and my babies. I mean, think about how blessed we are that
Mhm.
we got these cell phones and these laptops, and we can sit on our asses at home and we come up with all of the reasons. Well, you know somebody's not going to like what I have to say.
Who
It's not going to
cares?
matter in 100 years. You're going to be dead and gone, and nobody. So it's not going to matter in 5 years. It's not going to matter in 5 hours. These days, what you post on the internet doesn't hardly matter in 5 minutes because, again, not only are people self-absorbed with themselves, they're moved on to the next thing. Friends, our life is a pimple on the freckle of a gnat's ass. It's a speck. It's a speck of sand in the timeline of eternity. And the fact that we were born in the 1900s and 2000s is a
Miracle.
blessing.
Yes.
It's a fucking miracle. It is a miracle. We should be kissing our ass every day, bending backwards to try to just kiss our own butt. That we were born in this time to be able to just I mean, and it's even more pathetic now because it's like everybody wants to be a content creator. You have
Yeah.
like nowadays it's all, so I mean this is the thing to be in 2023 to get like if you want to like get rich in an easy way. Like
Mhm.
I mean think about it in 1983 when I was born. If I wanted to be a guy or a gal who had a chance to get rich, think about how hard that was.
Yeah.
Think about what were my actual options. Becoming a baseball player.
Yeah.
That was my dream when I was 5. I'm going to be a baseball player. Yeah, right. I mean, I was smoking weed in 9th grade. My chances were out the window. I dropped out in 9th grade, never even played high school baseball, didn't even make it that far. I'm sitting there, and they're telling me as a 5-year-old kid, yeah, buddy, you're going to be a baseball player. You keep playing. I mean, do you know the chances of that? I had a better chance of landing on the moon with a night. And I'm not a freaking astronaut. And I had a better chance of landing on the sun. I had a better chance of sniffing Mars than being a baseball player. And now, any Tom, Dick, or Harry can take a freaking $7 course or invest a few hundred or a few thousand to learn a few skills and open up your freaking cell phone and start posting videos, and lo and behold,
And make
make
money.
money. But you know what the problem is? Me. Because
Yeah.
now, even though life is better than it's ever been, I'm literally living a miracle. I can't get out of my own way.
Yep. Mhm. Yep. Dave, you nailed it. Nailed it. Absolutely true. Absolutely true. Like if you think about you talking about the baseball example, right? You would have to find an agent. How would you get that? You know what I mean? Like you're sitting like we would have to jump through so many hoops. I was born in 1988. Okay, I'm turning 35 years old. All right? I'm no spring chicken either. All right? I worked in oil and gas. I worked, I started my own business. I raised money. I did all these things and I was like, "Damn, all I needed to do was post content on social media and have an email list and I could make money. I didn't have to raise money from like Wall Street goons and stuff like that. I didn't have to go get sick on an oil rig and have like diesel cleaner be poured on me. No, I just could have done this." But it's crazy too because it's like, with all of these things, like when I talk to younger people, I'm like, you have so much opportunity. You have so much opportunity right here. Whereas like we had to go through some tough things to figure that out, right? Like you had to go through, your journey to get to where you are. I had to go through 7 years of not posting on YouTube or posting one time here and there. And, to get to this place where I was like, I can do this. And so we have to like also reflect on our journey. Like you've come a long way. If you're here, if you're in this chat right now, if you're watching this, you've come a long way, right? You've come a long ass way to get here, but you got here. So take advantage of this opportunity. Make the most out of it. If you're on the edge, be like, I'm doubling down now. I'm going all in. Why? Because what's on the other side of that? Like the if to me, failure is giving up. Failure to me is giving up. If you show up and if you're still doing it, trust and believe that it is going to happen for you, because the reason why like these huge CEOs and these huge companies are exist is because the founder never gave up, is because they kept pressing in. Is that the reason why we have Amazon and Tesla and all of these different things, is because they didn't give up. They said, oh, like, I'm not worthy of this, blah, blah. Everyone's going to think I'm insane for making a, electric vehicle. Now everyone wants a Tesla. So what I'm saying is that like that belief in yourself, that's going to keep you broke. That's going to keep you in the victim mentality. And all that's going to do is make you more depressed, more anxious, more of all of the bad things that you want, that you don't want, right? What's the harm in creating a YouTube or creating an Instagram or a TikTok and start posting silly videos or edutainment videos? There's nothing. There's absolutely nothing like wrong with that. There's absolutely no harm in that. Why?
Yeah.
Because that could potentially be leading to money being deposited in your bank account, because you understand affiliate marketing, because you understand how to sell a course, because you now understand how to set up one-on-one coaching because of that thing. Oh, want to learn how I got here? Cool. I have one-on-one coaching. So you can, book a time with me. It's in my Stand store or it's whatever. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
we need to get out of that. If you're like a dentist or if you're a dental hygienist or a stay-at-home mom, you can take that expertise, that knowledge that you have, and apply that to everything that we're learning here, everything that is taught in the $7 course and any other courses that are attached to this, because you're taking what you know and then you're putting gasoline on it and you're literally igniting the fire, and then you become the what is it called? You become that expert in that field
Yeah.
because you're the only one that knows that thing, right?
And you can
So
also package that information.
exactly.
That's the other thing that I think is, so many experts and professionals are starting to pick up on is that, gee whiz, here I am, a guitar player who never really made it, okay? And I'm taking gigs like in bars and I
Mhm,
like it, but I don't love it because I've been doing it
mhm,
for a long time and I'm getting older and it was fun when I was young. I had a dream of being a rock star, but I never really made it. So now I'm just kind of taking random gigs, sort of living paycheck to paycheck. Ah, I just took this course at Legendary Marketer and I learned about these core four business models where I could take and package the knowledge that I have that's really only provided me a sort of paycheck to paycheck living up until this point. But what if I take the knowledge of how to play a guitar and I package that into a course? Or what if I find a course out there that teaches people how to learn how to play a guitar and
mhm.
I start creating videos, simple little edutainment videos on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, etc., to where I start teaching people little,
Chords, things.
starter chords, little tricks, tips, things that they can use, little edutainment pieces, and then point them in a direction of my sales funnel or my affiliate funnel where I'm collecting an email. Now I'm building an asset. And I'm doing all of this from home. And oh, by the way, I can, of course, take now my phone and just set it up when I am playing gigs, and I can repurpose. You never do something only one time or for one person or for one audience. You always repurpose. So now I'm taking the content that I'm getting from my live performances, and I'm also putting that onto my content. It just opens up a whole new opportunity for somebody who, and that was just a random piece, a random example of a niche that I just pulled. So it's also about, all of you who come in, and we see this as we're doing our workshops and stuff here at Legendary. We ask people, hey, what's your profession? What is your expertise? What has been your career up until this point? And yeah, we have, healthcare workers and nurses and plumbers and contractors and attorneys and stay-at-home moms, and all of them are undervaluing their experience, not only from the perspective of, well, I don't have a story, I don't have anything to share. BS. You have seen more stuff. You have seen on a day-to-day basis, you have more things that you could turn into lessons and stories. On top of that, is there a possible way, as you're sitting there struggling to find your niche, that you could take your expertise that you have from that particular niche or profession and somehow package it in a way to where you could begin to go from the doer to the teacher, or the doer to the promoter of things? Food for thought. Food for thought. Here's another thing that I wanted to share that came up as you were talking about what you were talking about, was this ad from Steve Jobs, the iconic Think Different Apple commercial. You were talking about people not quitting, and you were talking about how our big companies sort of made and created. Well, there's a couple of lessons in here, not only the actual words that were said by Steve Jobs, but also the iconic marketing here. And think about how he was speaking to a generation of people back in, I guess this commercial was created in 1997, who felt not as seen by a company. Like Microsoft was more about, they didn't really have a culture. They were more just creating these software programs like Word and so forth, but there wasn't really culture. And then here he comes along and he creates an advertisement. Now, there's a couple of lessons. Again, not only do I like the words of the ad, but I also like the fact that instead of talking about the bells and whistles and the features and benefits of his product, instead he was speaking to the feelings and the visions and the dreams and of the potential customer of Apple products, and making a certain person feel seen and heard. Here's what he said: to the crazy ones, the misfits, the rebels, the troublemakers, the round pegs in the square holes, the ones who see things differently, they're not fond of rules. You can quote them, disagree with them, glorify or vilify them. But the only thing you can't do is ignore them, because they change things. They push the human race forward. And while some may see them as the crazy ones, we see genius, because the ones who are crazy enough to think that they can change the world are the ones who do. Whew. One of the most iconic commercials ever written, ever created. And obviously there's lots of marketing lessons in the fact that this commercial, which was one of the most iconic commercials, was not about the features and the benefits of the program or the product. It was about speaking to the vision. It was about speaking to the pains of people being looked at, the creative ones, the ones who are working, dropping out of school to work on products, the entrepreneurs, the creators. You all are creators, these same people. And there's a power in speaking to people right directly to their pains and letting them know that no, you can turn those struggles, that mess into a message. But
Mhm.
also, he was also speaking to that idea of not quitting, of people are
Mhm.
going to, they can glorify you, they can vilify you, but the only thing they can't do is ignore you when you don't quit, because
Yeah.
because you just won't go away. And what society and your critics want you to do is go away. That's what they
Mhm.
want you to do. Because if you quit and go away, then they don't have to be uncomfortable with the fact that you came from the same place they did, but are doing something with your situation.
Mhm.
So it is your obligation, not only to your haters, you need more haters. All of you need more haters. That was a goal of mine a couple of years ago, was to actually generate more haters, and I think I was been successful at that. But you also have an obligation to yourself to not quit,
Mhm.
because if you quit, you are not only giving in and surrendering to your haters and your critics and basically the entire world who says that, crazy big things can't be done and accomplished by ordinary people, but you are also giving in to your stupid, lying, limiting beliefs that we all have within ourselves that can be scientifically explained. For example, we explain them with the liking gap, so there's no excuse. Your brain has that short circuit in it, so you
Mhm.
don't sit around and mull over it all the time. But it's our obligation to follow through. It's our obligation to say yes to our dreams, because that is what makes us feel alive. Let's be honest. It is what makes us feel alive, is when we're pushing the boundaries, when we're doing something crazy. And you know what? You have to be comfortable with people calling you a little bit crazy, and that was also Steve Jobs' message in that ad, was to embrace the criticism, embrace the hate. If people are not calling you crazy, you're not doing enough. You're
Yeah.
not doing enough. If everybody's like patting you on the head and saying, "You're such a good little boy and such a good little girl. You stay right inside the lines. You don't talk too loud. You don't talk back. You don't say anything too offensive." My friends, if that is the feedback that you're getting from the world has you right where they want you.
Mhm.
I'm done.
And I don't have anything else to say about that because it's 100% true. And and if I'm being honest, I needed to hear this. If the chat didn't get anything from this live, I sure did, because I walked in here completely honest. I walked in here thinking, "Why do I deserve to be here?" And almost canceling last minute because I was thinking to myself, this like I'm not making hundreds of thousands of dollars per month. I'm not this like rock star yet, right? I'm not this person that I want to be, that I know that I'm going to be yet. So why do they want to talk to me? Like that was the bizarre thing to me. And then once I got on here, I knew and I asked God, I'm like, "Speak through me, because I don't know what the message is for me today, because this message was more for me than anyone else here. Y'all just got a live therapy session with Dave Sharpe and Rebecca." But honestly, like, to be completely honest, if you keep thinking that you're not worthy enough, that it is not for you, that's exactly where you're going to end up. It's not going to be for you. You need to get out of your head. Everything that we've spoken about today, the underlying thing, the underlying theme is get out of your head. Get out of like that limiting belief. It's going to be there regardless of whether you want it or not, because that's how we're programmed and that's how we're wired. But
Right.
we need to do our best every single day to be like, no, I'm not going to listen to that thought. I'm not going to listen to my limiting belief. I'm going to post that video. I'm going to create that content. I'm going to send out that email. Why? Because That is what's going to get you out of your situation. If you're in a financial situation and you need to get out of it, you need to do something about it. No one else is going to come save you. Dave is not going to come save you personally. I'm not going to come save you. There's no one that's going to knock on your door and be like, "Hey, I heard you need help." You know, you need to do it for yourself, because if
Right.
anyone's going to do it, it's going to be you. And that's something that I needed to hear today. So I hope and pray that everyone here is empowered to go out and chase the life that they want, because if you continue to live in your bubble, everyone patting you on the head, telling, "Hey, good job," you're not doing it good enough. You need to go. You need to make you.
Let me give you a dirty little secret. You want to, you talk about, let me give you guys some juice. Okay. Give you a little bit of juicy juice right now. Squeeze it right into your teacup, because that's what you love. You love the juice. All right. Here's my juice. Here's my dirty little confession. All right. See how I'm kind of amping that up. You got to be a marketer, people. Sell the sizzle. Here's my
But
juice. Here is the juice, folks. Get ready, you thirsty little suckers. All right. Here comes the confession, is that everything I say, I need to hear as well. And whether any one of you took a damn thing from it, maybe I didn't even do it for you. Maybe I didn't even say it for you. Maybe I just said it for me. Maybe I just said it for me. And this is what I learned in recovery from getting clean and sober from drugs, alcohol, heroin specifically, not to mention crack, cocaine, anything else. That I was what they called a garbage can addict. I would do anything that I could get my hands on, but I was specifically addicted to opiates. I got clean in 2008, and they said, here's the secret: go help somebody.
Mm-hmm.
Go get into service, Dave.
Service.
So I went and I joined this committee, and we started. We didn't start. I started going with them to take meetings into treatment centers, speaking to other addicts. Now I had 60 days clean. I came up on my 90-day clean. I didn't know there was a rule you couldn't speak. You couldn't actually share or speak until you had 90 days clean, because they didn't want you to say something so stupid that basically, you got us kicked out of the facility, basically. And I had that potential. I still do. But they said, well, Dave, you've got 90 days now. You're going to tell your story. And I said, my what? I'm going to do what? Tell my story? I didn't have nothing but war stories back then, right? I mean, I could tell you how to get high. I couldn't tell you how to get clean, right? But they said, no, you got a story in there. They said, here's how you're going to do it. You're going to tell them what happened, tell them what it was like, tell them what happened, and tell them what it's like now. Does that sound familiar? I actually share that framework to this day here in Legendary, and I give credit and props to where I learned it from. But so I did. And for the very first time, I had people coming up and congratulating me and shaking my hand for being a drug addict, right? It was the craziest thing in the world. I was like, holy shit, I felt like a celebrity. People were like wanting to come up and shake my hand after the thing. But it was because, I shared my story, and I was of service to other people. Now, when I left, my friend said, who became a mentor of sorts, said, now, not a single guy in that thing may stay clean or have gotten really anything out of that. You will be the beneficiary of that. Because how do you feel right now, Dave? I said, I feel like $1 million, man. He said, do you feel like you want to go get high, or throw your life away tonight? And I said, absolutely not. I said, man, I'm on top of the world, man. I couldn't feel better. I went into that situation thinking that I was had nothing to say and was scared shitless, and was, also going to cancel at the last minute. And so that taught me a valuable lesson. It taught me about what I needed to do to help me. And that anytime I opened my mouth, there may be people that get something from it. There may not be, right? I can't control that. And some people are afraid to create courses. They're afraid to create content. They're afraid to put things out there because, well, what if nobody buys, or what if people don't like it, or what if I don't get any likes, or what if I can't get any clients? And the truth of the matter is, you might not. But I can guarantee that if you do it, you will grow. You will get benefit. You will become more excited about being an entrepreneur. You will have some sort of a learning lesson or a takeaway from doing that thing, from opening your mouth, from taking that risk, that you will most likely want to come back and keep doing it. And eventually, if you keep doing it with the motivation, not that you're going to change other people's lives, because that really is that is sort of how we get ourselves in trouble, because we think that, well, every time I open my mouth, I'm going to bless somebody. That's how narcissists are created. That's how gurus and goblins are created, right? And especially if we're going to go on the path of entrepreneurship, we have to really have our humility in check. So my dirty little secret is that I get up here and I rant and rave, and you can't shut me up about personal development, entrepreneurship, marketing, all this stuff. And the dirty little secret is not because I'm here to bless you. It's because I'm getting so much benefit and growth out of hearing myself speak positive, empowering messages, speaking the things that I want into existence. I'm training my brain to believe the words that I'm saying, because you don't know, maybe I wanted to cancel today. Maybe I didn't want to show up. Maybe I was struggling with my own limiting beliefs. Maybe I was struggling with my own self-esteem today. But I needed to show up and not be in this egotistical, self-absorbed, oh, I'm going to come and bless these other people. I'm not God. I'm not some prophet. I'm just a regular guy who needs to keep opening his mouth and speaking this, talking my shit, my positive stuff, speaking it into existence. Sometimes I need to do that until I believe it. And
Yep.
I've been doing that ever since I went in with 90 Days Clean and started to share my story and got those first few handshakes. And I still try to do it as much as I can in my recovery life. I still do those same things. If you don't get away from the basics, you never have to go back to the basics, right? So a lot of this business building stuff that people think is this huge secret, and oh, Dave, masterful technical genius marketer, blah blah blah, all this bullshit. I mean, I don't even know where my cell phone is right now. I mean, I lost it earlier this morning somewhere in my house. I can't connect my cell phone to my laptop and get my calendars to sync. I mean, I still don't know how to work iTunes. It's, sometimes I pull it up and it's synced and it's working, and sometimes it's not. I mean, there are things in my house I don't know how to operate. I pull open my computer and there's 1,000 things on the desktop, and I'm like, who can work in this mess? I can't even sometimes sift through my own shit, because I'm just creating stuff and screenshotting things and it's all over the place.
Mhm.
But none of it matters, because I just get out of my own way and go create content and just talk my talk and figure the rest out later. I've always, and I was talking about this yesterday with somebody in terms of building funnels and stuff like that. The problem with all this shit nowadays is there's too many choices. And if you just keep your funnels and you just keep everything simple, just clean, crisp pages, as simple as they can possibly be, and focus exclusively and solely on your message and getting out there and speaking what you want into existence and sharing powerful stuff, not because you think you're a god and you're going to bless people, but because you know that you need to hear it. You need to continue to fill your gas tank up every single day, and maybe somebody will benefit from it. And guess what? Usually they do, because the liking gap exists and they like you a lot more than you think they're going to like you. And that, my friends, in my opinion, is how success happens. What do you think of that?
Keep coming back.
Keep coming back. There you go. So we are 15 minutes over the top of the hour, which, I've got things I need to do here, probably appointments 15 minutes ago. But you know what? who really cares? Because at the end of the day, this is what is important, is for me to be doing what my heart and soul wants me to be doing at any given moment. And the rest of the world can wait, right? Can wait. And I think that we all need to just focus on that today, is just do what you want to do and get passionate about something, and stop worrying about what everybody else wants from you, everybody else's agenda, and just have fun at this. And this is like a life insurance policy where you are the main beneficiary. Because
Mhm.
yes, you might go out there and people might get stuff from what you say, but the biggest person that's going to get something from this journey, from you taking action in this, and I'm speaking to myself, is me. I'm the one who's
Mhm.
going to get something out of this journey. And I don't care if you're 18 or 80, the same thing applies, because I've seen it happen with people from all ages, backgrounds, cultures, races, religions, sexual orientations, the whole nine, right here in this community. And the biggest thing we have to do is just get out of our own way. Get out of our own way,
Mhm.
right? So let's end this with you giving yourself a piece of advice that you would give when you started this journey just a couple of months ago. Not YouTube, because we know, Rebecca, just don't stop. But what else would you say to yourself a few months ago when you started this journey that you needed to hear, that just now in this moment, with the experience that you have, you could say to yourself, and you needed to hear it, but maybe you weren't ready to receive it, or you just didn't hear it in a specific way? What would you say to Rebecca?
I would say, wow, there's so many things that I would say to myself. The biggest thing that I would say to myself is that you're worthy of it. Like, to be honest, I thought for a long time, even up to this very day that we're sitting here, and to be honest, this was very transformative for me. So I'm like gonna be walking away from this just even like more energized to keep pumping and keep working. But is that you're worthy of it. We're we have to give ourselves permission, and I think a lot of times we're waiting for someone else to give us the permission to start and to do the thing and to live the life that you want, but we need to give ourselves that permission. And when I when I decided to invest in myself in Legendary Marketer, I said yes to myself. I gave myself the permission to chase the life that I wanted. I didn't have to, you know, I didn't have to go to find it from my mom or my parents or my husband. I'm like, I made the decision like internally, like I did this for myself. If nothing else, I did this for myself. If I don't make another single dollar, I still did this for myself. You know what I mean? And I know that's not true. I know I'm going to continue to be successful at this because I'm doing this and I gave myself that permission to start. And sometimes you do need to hear it, and I'm giving you the permission to start your journey. If you need to hear it from someone else, if you need to hear it from me, you are worthy of this. You are deserving of, making that money from home, of if you want to, eventually transition, if you want to be a stay-at-home mom. Like, that was a huge thing for me. I wanted to stay at home with my babies. I wanted to be home. Like, I needed to give myself permission to do that. And I think that if you needed that message, this is me telling you, you're worthy, you're worth it, and if this is the time that you're contemplating starting and investing in yourself and going all in on yourself, this is the day you have to make that decision, that this is your decision, this is your time to do it. And that was something that I had to tell myself.
Mm.
And it was something that was so powerful to me because I was like, oh, okay, like I'm doing it. Like I can do this, And and that was so motivating for me. I'm like, wow, if other people can do this, I can do this too. And that was the thing that just completely I went all in. Like I did this in 15 days. Like everything. Like I was the one that was like on it. I was calling my advisor, like, can we get a call in? Like I need to schedule a call like as soon as possible. So, you know, you need to you need to give yourself permission. Look at yourself in the mirror. I know it sounds corny. Look at yourself in the mirror and say, I give myself permission. I give myself permission to make as much money as I want to get out of debt, to be financially free, to live the life that I want, to travel if that's what you want to do. You need to give yourself permission for whatever that is stopping you from your goal, right? Because on the other side of your fear is whatever you want, whatever life that you're wanting to chase, whatever life that when you logged on, you're like, I don't know what I want. You need to decide what that is and you need to go for it, because I'm telling you, if you continue to be stuck where you are, that's the only place you'll ever be, you know? And I gave myself the permission. I said, I'm going to do it. I'm going to go all in. I'm investing in myself. If nothing else, I'm here for myself. And I've grown so much in the last month and a half that I'm just like I'm giving everyone all this info. I'm like, go do it. Everyone can do it. Trust me. Like I become like, like one of those Bible preaching people on the street. You can do it. You can make money from home. Trust me.
I love it.
It took me this long to figure it out, so don't take this long.
I know it's such a valuable experience, and I love that you're going to take your experience from taking that 7 years, and that you really, really imagine the next 7 years. I mean, the next 7 years when you're going full throttle with this information, it's just going to be, I mean, if you tried to write out what was going to happen, you would shortchange yourself so much. You have no idea where you're going to be. You just have not a single freaking clue. I mean, you can't even fathom. Your brain cannot even go that far right now because you don't know what you don't know, right? I mean, I am serious about that. And I am excited for you to also share your wisdom of how you built your YouTube channel to 100,000 subscribers, and make that part of, because you do know how to create edutainment. You do know how to create content that people love to watch. You are interesting. You are informative. You do have epic reactions. You do know how to carry on a conversation. Like, all of that work that you did is there's so many nuggets in that you can talk about on TikTok and Instagram and Facebook, and of course also on YouTube. But just turning all of that, we want to make sure that we squeeze every little drop from everything that we've done. And it just so happens that in many other people's past, they, in their history, they were maybe a nurse or an accountant or a plumber or something like that. Well, you just happen to have been a YouTuber who created a YouTube channel to 105,000 subscribers. And now you're learning a lot more about how to monetize that. But you've already created the channel to 100,000 subscribers. And so now what you're able to do with that, to build on that, is just, there's limitless opportunities. And that is also the message that I want to send you away with this morning, is to be proud, to know what you've accomplished is amazing. You just needed another piece of the puzzle in terms of how to monetize it, right? Mm-hmm. And also how to, maybe create content that's going to get people to want to whip out their credit card and buy something high ticket. Like if somebody's watching like kind of reaction videos, relationship things, sort of Hollywood stuff, like that might not be the type of content that's going to get them excited to pay $1,000. But if they watch something about making money or, building a business online, right? Then you lead them, they're primed more to want to take a course on how to do that. So you're learning about what type of content within those health, wealth, and relationships. Like if you are
Mhm.
going to do relationship content, well, what kind of content and what kind of topics are going to be most interesting for people to want to actually take another step and buy a course? Well, it's not going to be celebrity gossip. It's going to be how to fix your marriage.
Yep.
It's going to be how, right?
Exactly.
It's
Yeah.
painful things that people will pay any amount of money to fix their
Mhm.
marriage. They'll pay any amount of money to get their kids to sleep through the night. They'll pay any amount of money to learn how to
Yep.
homeschool their children, to learn how to become a stay-at-home mom. Like you
Exactly.
have to create content and be in niches that people have enough pain
Yep.
that they want something that they're willing to pay for. It can't be exclusively entertainment for
Correct.
entertainment purposes only, right? Which is what a lot of people are creating on YouTube. And that's why they don't have a back end to their business. And you mentioned that at the beginning of the episode, that you have a lot of friends that have 1 million+ subscribers, but they're doing only
Only
entertainment.
entertainment.
So
Mhm.
there's no educational element to it. So there's nothing that they can learn from it. The person
Mhm.
can't learn how to save their marriage, learn how to get the girl back, learn how to find their ideal dream partner because they're lonely. And, the woman's approaching, or the guy's approaching his, late 40s or into his 50s and is worried they're never going to find their life partner. Like those are painful topics that people are with. So you're putting additional pieces to your puzzle that now the work that you've already done and what you've already found out and learned and demonstrated that you can do in terms of creating content and
Mhm.
following through and all that stuff. Now you're going to combine it with these additional pieces to the puzzle that you've learned here. And it is really, truly going to be exciting to see where you go. So commit to me now, you'll come back in a few months and that you'll keep
Yes.
posted on your journey.
I will, and you'll be inviting me to speak at a mastermind.
I
I'm
love
putting it
how
out
you're
there.
speaking that into existence right now. Rebecca, you're a rock star. Go and be with your child. Go be with your
Yes.
family. Get out of here. We've been here for 90 freaking minutes going crazy for people, but it's beautiful. And you know what? You're a rock star. Keep up the great work. I'm glad you were here today.
Thank you so much for having me.
Okay, we'll talk to you later. Okay, stay
Bye.
legendary, my friend. Bye. All right, you can follow Rebecca. Find her over on YouTube at Rebecca Barrett, and that's spelled RebeccaBarrett. Rebecca Barrett over on YouTube. You can also find her on Instagram at naptime.hustle.mama. Hey, maybe it's nap time. She's got to go put her baby down for a nap. Either way, naptime.hustle.mama. Go and find and follow and support Rebecca. My friends, what else needs to be said today? This was a legendary day. Every day has been legendary this week, my friends. Thank you for the over 300 folks who are still on 90 minutes later. My God! Stay legendary, my friends. We'll see you back here tomorrow for another episode. Get out of here. Peace.